Hey everybody, Daniel Ramsey here with MyOutDesk. We've got a special guest today, Danielle Garofalo, and she's in New York City. Show them where you are. Check that out.
That is Madison Avenue right there. There's Tom Ford. There we go.
Madison Avenue. Okay, so today
Barney's, New York.
Barney's is right there.
Right there.
Can you get me a handbag for my wife? Do you mind?
Sure, I'll be right there. Yeah. Hold on.
Well, hey guys, if you're listening today, we've got a lot of good stuff. Danielle just did the keynote at Tom Ferry for marketing. So it was an Instagram keynote. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about branding and marketing. She has some crazy strategies. We're going to go. You like that? That's my crazy.
Crazy. They're all crazy.
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
And so, Danielle, you work for Core New York, and you're in the business development, meaning you help the top agents in that city develop plans and strategies to win in business. Is that right?
Yes. So I work for Core. We have 4 offices in Manhattan, and we are focused on a lot of new development and resale as well. And so I get to work with agents who are kind of in both areas. Yeah.
Nice. I love it. Okay. So we're going to go through a bunch. Say again?
It's exciting. They're very exciting.
Okay. So we're going to go into like what you do and what you're kind of famous for, because you're an influencer on stage.
Famous. Oh, I'm an influencer. Okay.
Yes, you are. But first, before we do that, let's talk about your career. Like, you've worked for IBM, Disney. How'd you get started in business, and then how'd you get into the real estate world?
Yeah, so crazy. I actually have a degree in psychology, and I graduated kind of in their marketing track. And after that kind of gave me this like love for marketing. And, Disney, I mean, I don't know if I could have asked for a better start. I don't know if I could have asked for a better education. I was able to learn through this marketing track from Disney executives who had been, in different areas of the company and the park. So that was fascinating. Yeah. And then when I came back to New York, I was an IBM contractor and that's where I learned digital marketing. So that was, for me, again, just like I sort of fell into this, digital marketing, and I was able to learn from IBM, who at the time was like at the forefront of what was happening in social media. So, really for me, I couldn't have asked for 2 better, if you want to say like a little education there from Disney and IBM, I couldn't have asked for a better start.
That's awesome.
Get to where I am right now. So IBM actually closed the property where I was working rather than take all of us on as mobile, and let us all work from home. They just closed. And so I had no idea kind of like what my next steps were. And a client of mine asked me to meet with a real estate agent of hers who was selling her home. And her home was a $70 million house in New Jersey. I met with the broker. I met with the broker, and I was just like, I cannot believe that this person who is accomplished and everything has no idea kind of the next wave of marketing, which is social media and digital marketing. So I went back to school, and I just started consulting with, I took all of the list of the Wall Street Journal top 1,000, and I cold called them and told them kind of what I could do for them digital marketing and social media wise. And that's how I started. And yeah, it was like timing. The timing couldn't have been better for me. So, here I am at Core, and #1 boutique real estate firm in New York. And I don't think I could have written this any better. I couldn't have imagined it any better.
That's awesome. Well, so if you're listening right now, please just jump into the chat, tell us your name and where you're from, and say hello to Danielle. She's giving our time today, or giving us her time today. And she's a digital marketing person, which, by the way, in the real estate world, in the business world, this is like a ninja skill. She's like, gets in there and she's like, wah, here's leads, here's more listings, here's revenue. So let's just give her a good warm hello, where you're from, and your name, and that'd be awesome. So let's talk, like, what is digital marketing, Danielle? Like, what do you, like, if you could sum it up for somebody who's not doing it, or kind of doing it, or even doing it better or well, but not amazing, like, give us a breakdown.
So I would say it's the best way to network with people that you don't see every day. And it's a way to keep up with the network that you already have and to kind of let people know, again, who aren't living your life and don't see you all the time, what you're doing and what your business is like.
Okay. Well, like that's good summary, but when you jump in and you help somebody with digital marketing, what does that look like? What do you actually do?
So we kind of we sit here and I say we because I have a team who does this with me, and we look at all different aspects of your business. It's very similar to a coach. I mean, we basically are a team of coaches. And we see kind of where your last deals came from, which is something that a lot of people don't pay attention to, how they came to you. Look at your existing networks that you have online, how you're keeping in touch with them. And see which ways are not, most importantly, which ways are not working. And then the ways that are, we kind of help you build out those and, discard that is, kind of useless.
Yep. Makes sense. When you say most people aren't looking at their where they get business, that's a big issue in our industry.
Yeah.
Like how do you do that? What exactly, what advice would you give somebody? And actually here's a little side note. I was talking to a client yesterday who does $1 million in revenue. And I said, what do you do after the close? And her head just dropped and she got all sad. And what we do is we help businesses grow revenue through giving them high caliber talent. So we were talking about who does she need on her team in order to go from $1 million to $2 million. But what you just said is gold, because this is her. She needs your help.
Yeah. I mean, when you think of how a lot of people a lot of agents approach their business, I hear this from, some of our agents here, certainly, but when I'm out speaking and I take questions, people just tend to kind of pay attention to right now. So the client came to them, they focus on the deal, they get the deal done, next deal. They never pay attention to this person who just had a great experience, we hope, with you, and who you can then grow with their network and grow your business. And I think that most people sort of just drop it and are always focused on looking what's beyond that person. And this person right here can be an explosion of your business if you do it correctly. So that's really where we kind of slow everybody down and put their focus on what they have right now. Because if you're not taking care of this client well and this network, you shouldn't really have any business expanding.
Yeah, there you go. You said something about, I love this, in your bio, it's like marrying sales and marketing. Can you explain that? Like, what does that look like? What does that mean? And I love it because I love the whole getting married,
Yeah, because for some reason, a lot of folks sit down and they think these are two separate things. Your marketing exists over here and your sales exists over there. But if you market yourself correctly, and like I said, you keep in touch through these channels that we have, like social media and all of these gifts that we have, your sales will improve. And so these two things I never see as separate. I know it's like sales and marketing, but it's your business. It's your business development. So that's how we kind of marry the two and don't ever kind of neglect one in favor of finding sales.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, if you're listening today and you want to connect with MyOutDesk or you want to find out more information, we just finished, Danielle, I didn't tell you this yet, but I just finished a book. So now we're giving our best stuff away. Yeah, I want to give it away. So if you're listening right now, text 61996 to or SVP to 61996. Danielle's gonna get it. I love it. She's in. She's going. Oh, you know what? Okay, wait. I screwed it up. Here it is. SVP. You're gonna text SVP scale with virtual professionals to 31996, not 619. It's 31996. So we're gonna a couple questions for you. Like, what's this? Tom Ferry, you were a keynote at his summit just recently. So help us with that. And you were talking about Instagram. I'm curious, how does Instagram and real estate kind of come together?
Yeah, so that was what an experience. That was my second year speaking at the summit. Like from the minute you walk through the door, you're hit with this overwhelming energy, and everyone kind of focused on, not only 2019, but 2020 and, beyond. So it was exciting to sit there and chat about, look, I speak at a lot of different conferences. I'm really fortunate to meet so many different agents from around the country. And the one thing that sticks out to me all the time is that we don't seem to be progressing from this, what Instagram is right now, to what it could be. So everybody's still talking about like the same 2 or 3 tips. And what my talk was about was kind of, all right, we've got all of this. I don't think you need to hear it anymore. What is Instagram going to be? So that's kind of where I focus.
Well, what is it going to be? Tell us.
So I think the last thing that it should be, I think what people are using it for right now, they use it more of like a megaphone, and it shouldn't be that way. It's a social network. You really need to kind of focus on engagement, meaningful engagement with your network. I know the popular thing is followers and likes, but Instagram has continually showed us this year that they are moving toward getting rid of likes. And so if this is where a lot of people have put their focus, it's incorrect. So let's shift away from kind of the vanity metrics and let's go toward where the real things are going to happen, where your lead gen is going to happen, and focusing on that kind of one-on-one contact. Yes, it's a lot of time. It's a little more time that way, but if it brings you a lead, that's time well spent. So that's kind of what I wanted to hit home there.
One question, how much, I mean, you're a digital marketer, so how much of my time as a real estate agent or broker should I be spending in that space of marketing, digital marketing, and social media stuff?
That's a tough question. I don't think it should be all of your time, but I don't think it should be, the 5 minutes a day that a lot of people put into it because they just can't be bothered. Certainly if you're going to not do this without a plan, which is another big mistake that a lot of folks make. I see this on, live broadcasts. I see it on kind of these little videos that there's no outline for how they want the talk to go.
Right.
So that goes the same for posting. So if you don't have a strategy of how you're going to post and kind of build engagement, and that's a mistake too. So that is the long way of saying, however much time you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, but intelligently, and not just like, see, I was there. Well, that doesn't make any sense. So if you strategize and you do it correctly, you won't have to spend that much time, but put the time in for the strategy, and you won't have to.
Well, what's interesting is part of your role at Core is to help agents develop a strategy and set goals. So walk us through what that looks like when you're working with an agent, and what are some of the focuses that real estate folks should have that you help people kind of open their eyes to?
Yeah, so I think in a tough market, I think everyone's kind of just trying to throw things out there and see what sticks. And, but what we do, my team and I, we sit down and we'll kind of have like an hour-long brainstorm of what they've wanted to do. And then, like I said, we go back to basics of where their business has come from, where they live, a niche market that they've been, successful in. And then we kind of put those bullet points together and we create a strategy for going after more clients like this, what the messaging should be in all of your marketing. All of your marketing should have uniform at every touch point. It should be the same. I should know kind of what, and so kind of getting everybody with a plan that makes sense for them and that they're also going to follow up on, because and I'm sure a lot of agents who are watching are laughing at this, but accountability is what we do here. We hold you accountable for this plan that we put together, which is how you're successful. So nothing slips through the cracks here.
I think that's the challenge, is holding somebody, setting a plan and then making sure people follow up with it. You're in the luxury world. So talk about the challenges of being in that world. You talked about a $70 million listing, which is super cool.
It's cheap in some areas of Manhattan.
Yeah, that's cheap. Great. I'm in. I'm a buyer. Can I?
There we go. Done.
Checks in the mail. But quick question: what are some of the challenges that are different in the commercial world where you're selling multi-million-dollar kind of properties?
So the exciting part about this for us is that when you're marketing these sorts of things, the fascination is already built in and the audience is already there. Everyone wants to get a peek behind the door of a $10 million townhouse. So you have that, which is, exciting. I mean, who doesn't want to look at a penthouse in Soho and, that you would normally not get a peek at. So there's that. The challenge is that there are some emerging neighborhoods in New York that don't have that high price tag. And so how do you kind of build the hype for, a studio on the Upper East Side that's below $1 million? I mean, so that's sort of the challenge. Is not every property is like that. And the ones that are not, they still hold value and it's still exciting. So you don't want to ever just box yourself in for people thinking, well, this agent only sells 5 and above. So that's a challenge, but you don't want folks thinking that you're just a rental broker either. So there's, that sort of challenge just because of the wide range in New York.
Got it. What's another question that I had for you was like, how is technology kind of affecting real estate in New York City, specifically for your agents and core?
Sorry, I broke up there.
What about technology? How is that affecting luxury and working in New York? How is the technology and the changes happening in our market right now affecting your business?
So the interesting thing is that a lot of people think that the technology, now that it's here, it took a while for the real estate industry to sort of adopt it and to accept that technology is going to be part of our industry. And now that it has, it's sort of snowballed and it's changing everything very rapidly. So people think that just because the technology is here, the technology is going to do everything. But there is this middle ground that we have to sort of, balance, that you don't want to just rely on the technology by itself. How do they kind of prove their value and still prove their worth now that all these different pieces of software are here? So that's kind of the challenge. The consumer is more educated than ever before because of things like Zillow and StreetEasy in New York. And so it's kind of a challenge to see how the agent will, like I said, make sure that they prove to the client that we still have value. So I think it's leveled everyone up, which is, for me, it's, look, I'm a tech nerd, but it's exciting. It's exciting, I think.
That's awesome. If an agent came to you and said, hey, Danielle, I need help marketing this property. It's the biggest one of my career. It means everything to me. It's going to open up a ton of referral and repeat business. What is the plan from a digital marketer's perspective? Like step by step, what would you do to get that property kind of the best view?
So the interesting thing about now is that we have all of these tools that were once like, whoa, you do a video? So we kind of take a look at our arsenal and see we'll look at the property first to see, not every property should be on videos. That hurts the property to kind of show it in that way. Sometimes there's things that you want to leave kind of like as a reveal for when the buyer comes in and they're, excited about it. So you take a look at the property first and see how to show it in the best light. Mm-hmm. The proper photography, proper videography, and then the messaging. We certainly, stick within the guidelines of how we're allowed to market. And you don't want to go sensational and say like best penthouse ever in the history of the whole planet, that kind of thing, because that turns a lot of people off. Yeah. But I think if you can, sort of put some hype behind the property without sounding obnoxious, and then taking a look at the agent's network and seeing, who do you know that's kind of had, buyers in these markets. And, it's a whole sort of process. Not only do we, the marketing team, kind of take over and do our end of it, the agent also has to understand who in their network, not only potential buyers, but potential brokers can come in and say, okay, I have someone for this. So again, kind of marrying two things, sales and marketing. That's kind of how we attack a property like that.
I love it. So how important do you think the videos are in today's world? Because you're like I think in the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple different people on and everybody is pounding video. Yeah. Like it's insane. And that I feel like that's changed recently. So why did you go directly to video, and why is that so important in today's market?
So video for us, last year, Core won. I'm sure you're familiar with Real Trends.
Yep.
Last year we won for best video in the country. We take video very seriously here, but it's because we're selective about it, and we won't do kind of just like anything. We approach it sort of like you're filming a motion picture and cinematography versus just like picking up a phone and, sort of doing it that way. So yes, video is important, but it's video done well. One of the things that I can't stand is when an agent or someone will go into a property with sort of like the camera up and be like, hey guys, and rotate behind the scenes. That does nothing for the property, and then it doesn't even do anything for the agent. So it's a matter of video, yes, but being smart about how you go about video. It can make or break any listing.
I love it. I love it. So Danielle, what's next for you in your career? Where do you see growth, and where do you see yourself going in the future?
I don't know. It's funny. The industry now from, I've been in it quite a long time now, but I think I didn't see the industry progressing this way this quickly.
Yep.
And now with sort of AI and deep learning and all of these things that are happening with real estate, I don't know where we're going to be in a year. So that's kind of exciting for me. And I just sort of, keep up with the trends. My friends who are founders, kind of keep me in the know. And I'm always attending conferences and speaking at conferences to see kind of like what's next. But for me, I don't know what that means, but I'm excited to see what the future brings. So I'm ready for it.
You're excited about the future of the real estate world. What is, just real quick, everybody talks about real estate agents, now this marrying of tech. Do you think real estate agents are going to become extinct in 5 or 10 years? Or what's your take on that whole conversation?
I think in certain aspects of the market, I think rentals, certainly. But I see the luxury market adopting, I don't see the luxury market ever kind of getting rid of a real estate agent. At that level, there needs to be a certain sort of advisory group surrounding a client. And so I don't see that happening. Rentals for sure.
When you say there needs to be an advisory group, talk to me about what the high-end luxury groups like offer. I'm just kind of curious how you guys package your team. Like, is it broker, CPA? Like, what does that look like?
So for me, listen, I'm sort of contradicting myself because I loved working at Disney. I loved my time working with IBM, but I am boutique to the core. So the great thing about boutique is that we can spend more time with a client. We can kind of take a client's wants and needs for not only a buying or a sale and kind of spend the quality time hearing from them things like, one of the things that I don't really know if people ask when they're selling a property is, why did you buy it? And so there are things that like we can sit down and, have a real think tank with the client in a way that, is, at a larger firm is more like rubber stamped. We don't do that here. And at that level, CEOs and billionaires and all of that, they don't want it phoned in. They want they expect white glove service. And so that's kind of how I see that moving toward in the next 5 years. So
the future.
Boutique. Yeah, the future is boutique. Boutique is luxury. So
love it. Well, Danielle, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for your time. What's the one thing you'd tell people about what, real estate or core or, social media or digital marketing? What do you want to leave our audience with today?
Wow. One thing.
The hard questions. MyOutDesk.
I was just going to say, that was the last thing, talking about me, the hardest thing that I'm going to answer. You know what? If there are any questions that I didn't answer today, I answer questions. I do kind of an AMA, Ask Me Anything, every Friday in my stories on Instagram. Nice. And then one Friday a month, I do a webinar on marketing. Yeah. So if I've missed anything today, which I'm sure I did, if there are any questions, feel free to ask. My name is Danielle Garofalo on Instagram too. Very unique.
Yeah, nobody else has that name, right?
Nobody.
Yeah, I
Nobody.
love it. I love it. Okay, guys. Hey, appreciate your time today. Remember, if you want to grab our book, it's text SVP to 31996, and we're going to give you a strategy guide, consultation. Hopefully, we get Danielle back again on our show because she's been amazing today. Thank you so much for your
Anytime.
time. It's been awesome. And
Thank you.
yeah, we just appreciate having you today.
Thanks so much, Dan, with the best name. I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, the guy, we love each other's names, right? It's
That's
great.
it. Best
All
name
right.
ever.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.